Hey Altenew friends, thank you for joining me today for my stop on the Summer Fun Video Hop with Altenew. We are celebrating the July 2020 release of stamps, dies, and new mixed media inks. My name is Laura Jane, also known as Mama Cooks a Lot, and I am working with the Mega Label Love stamp set. Today I'm sharing how quick and easy it is to use the entire stamp set all at once, inking it up and getting lots of great Mega Label Love sentiments for future cards. As you can see, I have simply removed the top layer of the plastic on the stamp set and I've placed it on the door of my Misty. I just added some washi tape to the acetate that is holding all of the stamps. And I am prepping the white cardstock with cornstarch. Just use a little brush to make sure we get rid of static because I will be embossing these sentiments today. Next, I will be using the Obsidian pigment ink, which is a perfect black ink that stays wet enough to add the embossing powder to. And closing the door of the Misty and pressing firmly through each of those mega labels. I really love the size of these sentiment strips. Okay, once that is done, look how nicely those came out. And like I said before, the Obsidian pigment ink stays wet enough that I can use the clear embossing powder from Altenew. So I'm just spreading that on. And I have my heat tool already preheated. And we're going to watch the magic here as that embossing powder does its thing and makes it shine. Once the embossing was done, I noticed that there was a couple of flecks of white that did not get inked up real well in the center, so I took a fine liner and took care of that just with a marker, and that cleared it up. And the next step here is just going to quickly show you how easy it is to cut these out. The designers at Altenew did a fabulous job of lining up the sentiments so that it's very easy to cut out. There's this first strip of these two, just cut that off, then flip it and line them up with the edge of the trimmer and just cut away. Once I trimmed these, if there was just a little bit of white showing on the edge, I didn't bother with trimming real close again. I just took the black artist marker and ran that on the edge to clean up the look. And here are all the Mega Label Love sentiment strips cut out, as well as re-stamped in the antique gold and then embossed with the clear embossing powder. I love how these turned out. And here's an example using several on a card. I did make several more cards using the July stamped release, and here's just a quick look at them. If you would like to see more details, I have them over on my blog today. That will be linked in my description box. But hey, before you go, I was excited to receive the mixed media inks in the mail just before this video was due. So stick with me just a couple more minutes and you can see these mixed media inks in action. There are 8 new inks and they are the Red Cosmos collection as well as Green Fields. So there is the Frosty Pink, Coral Berry, Ruby Red, Grapevine, that is Red Cosmos, and then we have Frayed Leaf, Forest Glades, Evergreen, and Jet Black in Green Fields. I'm going to be using the Nature Blossoms stamp set to use these inks with. I will be inking 4 blooms in total for this, and starting with Grapevine for the outline. Here, the grapevine just wipes right off with a damp rag. And I am using my Altenew acrylic block that has little lines on it to help me line up each layer. For the solid images, I'm using the Frosty Pink, which is the lightest shade of pinks. And you can see how easy it is to cover the solid stamp. I love the coverage. The texture is like coconut cream. They are still water-based. These mixed media inks are pigment ink. Now after stamping that Frosty Pink, this is where I decided to go ahead and grab 2 more with the ink that was left over on those stamps. So I think you call that second generation stamping. So I just set it at the top of my paper, smoshed it down, and it was just enough of an image so that I knew where to place the next layers. So as you can see, each time I am stamping the first impression with the ink and then moving it up to the top to get a second generation. So then I'm going to have 2 bold flowers and then 2 flowers that are just a little muted. So now we've got that first layer in Frosty Pink, then that is the solid layer. Then a next detailed layer is going to be with Coral Berry. Then the next detailed layer is Ruby Red. And then quickly I'm inking up the leaves and starting out with the first solid layer with Frayed Leaf, and then the next detailed layer of the leaves with Forest Glades, then even more of a very small detail with Evergreen, and then the final outline of the leaves in Jet Black. Okay, and there you go. I've got 4 flowers. I do come in with some regular yellow ink for the yellows and then some of the artist markers for the center of those flowers. After cutting all my bits and pieces out, I put together a freestyle collage card. So I thank you again for hanging out with me today. I know this is a long video and there's so much to look at. I do have the next stop on the hop listed in the description box below. And I would appreciate it if you like this video and even subscribe if you appreciate what I share with you. So have a great day. Bye.